This episode is brought to you by Kia's first 3-row all-electric SUV, the Kia EV9, with available all-wheel drive and seating for up to 7 adults, with a 0 to 60 speed that thrills you 1 minute, and available reclining lounge seats that unwind you the next. Visit kia.com/EV9 to learn more. Ask your Kia dealer for availability. No system, no matter how advanced, can compensate for all driver error and or driving conditions. Always drive safely.
I'm Mo Rocca, and I'm excited to announce Season 4 of my podcast, Mobituaries. I've got a whole new bunch of stories to share with you about the most fascinating people and things who are no longer with us. From famous figures who died on the very same day, to the things I wish would die, like buffets. All that and much more. Listen to Mobituaries with Mo Rocca wherever you get your podcasts.
Alright, what's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of the TMossBoss Show. And in today's episode, I need to get some things off my chest, cause you know I would say a couple of days ago I was at the angriest that I have been in a long time. Like, I've been angry to the point where it's like a blind rage, but I had to say recently, it got to the point where it was like scary, you know, more so for me and the other individual involved. I'm not going to say who they were, but overall, if they ever do hear this podcast episode, they know exactly what I'm talking about. And it's people like them that need to understand that when you do things to a person that upsets them and that stuff builds up and builds up and builds up and builds up, you have to understand that people building up like that, and it's one thing for a person to have like a lot of depression build up, because you know it's more so an emotion that you're going to have within yourself. You know, it's an implosion if you think about it, like a depressing you know, like just build up. It's more so an implosion. You break within the inside. And that's something that I've dealt with. That's something that I've went through. And it was a tough situation. But the thing is this. It's even more scarier when anger builds up. And it continues to build up. And it builds up so much that you end up exploding on someone. And you get into this blind rage to where you start swinging on stuff. You don't feel no pain. Like I found it, this is, you can ask anybody in this world, what is your definition of a blind rage? And if you ask the right person, they will tell you, because they have experienced that blind rage. Now, I was out and about. I was on a vacation while this incident, you know, occurred and stuff. And it was something that was like, I don't even know how I had got involved in the first place, but I was brought into a conversation because the other individual wants to be toxic and bring people into conversations when me talking on myself ain't got nothing to do with it. That was an A and B conversation. Last I checked, I did not see myself into anything. So why am I being brought into it? You know, like, that's one of those things where it's like, you gotta ask yourself, like, do you think that was a smart decision to bring somebody up in a conversation, especially when they even, like, and the crazy thing about it, I think that was one of the questions. Like I said, I was in a blind rage. So I think one of the questions that I asked the, you know, individual is, what have I done to you? And they said nothing. So that's when it confuses me, because I'm all like, so why are you trying to run my name into the dirt as if I've done something to you? You see, it's like that type of stuff that it's all like, you know, I'm just saying, like, if you was a certain individual, I probably would have laid hands on you, you know, because it's one of those things where it's like, I don't like being violent, but when a person pushes me to that point, like, I really don't have no other choice. You know, and it's one of those things where it's like, I get scared for individuals when they do that, when they bring that out of me, because it's like, fam, a whole lot of people in this world can't really bring that out of me, you know, but this particular person, oh, they've done it multiple times. And I'm like, it's getting to a point where I'm all like, okay, you need to back off and leave me alone, because it's like, I'm really trying to have nothing but respect for you. And I'm trying to, but I'm gonna say this though, because I know I can't put my hands on this person. That just would be wrong. Okay, that would be wrong on a lot of circumstances. But I am going to say things that you're not going to like, and you're most likely gonna get upset. And I've done it before. That's the thing though. I've gotten to a point in time in my life where I'm not afraid to do it again. I have nothing to lose. And that's something where it's like, I know it's going to sound silly, but at the same time, it's like a person, when they say things like that they ain't got nothing to lose, you have to believe them. You honestly have to believe them. They have nothing to lose. They don't care what happens at the end of the day. It's like, it'll be on some stuff where it's like, they'll say whatever they got on their mind. And if they felt that offended you, if they see you start crying over it, it's like, fam, and all that's just going to do is make me happy. Because I'm like, I finally put some actual realistic sense in you. Not common sense. I feel like common sense, it goes in one ear and out the other. But some realistic sense. Some like realization of life. And I feel like that's what I'm going to be more so talking on in this podcast episode. Is for people that want to have and like an issue with others, and they've done nothing to them, and it's like, what's the reason of carrying on like that? That was a question not asked by me, but another party that was involved in this, conversation that I somehow got. So it's like the original A and B. So A had asked B a conversation, and then that's when B decided to get me involved. I'm like, I don't know what I did, but anyways, A had asked the question, have we done something to you and all that? And it was like, no, there was nothing to be said or done. And B was trying to make up some stuff. And I'm like, the thing is this, you have to understand, all the excuses in the world, it's not going to help people understand why you've been toxic to them throughout your life. My life. I'm saying, it's like you have to sit down and think about that. It's like there's no reason for you to be carrying on the way that you're carrying on. For one, because I think that's something that really crosses through their mind, is that they're entitled to stuff. Like they're entitled to whatever it is that they want from people. And it's like, fam, you have to understand, this is planet Earth, okay? This isn't your kingdom or whatever you want it to be. That ain't it. That's not gonna happen. That's something that I've came to the realization too, is that this world doesn't owe me nothing. All right. And as much as people want to throw that in my face, like, oh, as a black man, the world owes you this, the world owes you. No, the world owes me nothing. If I want to make something of whatever I have in front of me, I have to do that. That's on me. That's me being a responsible adult. That's me coming to the realization that I'm going to have to work my whole life. My whole life. So the thing is this, that's even how the conversation escalated to me being in a blind rage, was that they were trying to make it seem like that what I'm doing right now, content creating, whether it's a podcast episode, because the thing is this, people need to understand how passionate I am about my content creating, is that the thing is this, I've been doing this ever since I was 13 years old. Now I know a lot of people will look at that and be like, that's a long time. Maybe you should give it up. Maybe you should stop. You haven't really achieved nothing. The thing is this though, when I look at everything that I've done when it comes to content creating, the amount of videos that I've posted, the amount of podcast episodes that I've posted, the amount of streams that I've done within a few year period. I started streaming in late 2020, and I feel like I've done more streams. The funny thing is that I probably don't have the amount of hours that my friends have when it comes to, when they're doing like subathons and all that stuff. But I have streamed more days and on more platforms than probably all of the streaming friends that I've made combined. And when it comes to YouTube videos, bro, I don't know how many people, I don't know nobody out there that has 50 different active YouTube channels. I don't know that. I don't know somebody with 100 different podcast seasons, 10 episodes each, a video or episode coming out daily. I might miss a day here or there, but the thing is this. what people need to understand is that I am extremely passionate about what I do. Now, you might not be able to find no passion in life because you've tried things and you've given up. That's you. If you want to give up, that's on you giving up. But don't take that anger out on me because you see that I'm actually good at something and I actually can achieve something. That's the one thing that a lot of people don't want to do because it's so hard for them to do it. But it's just to simply show support. That's it. I'm not asking you to give me. I've never asked this person for money. So that's why it's like for them to try to make it seem like that content creating isn't a job and I'm not making no real money from it. And I'm like, fam, the funny thing is that I might, throughout all the jobs that you've had, I probably not had to, I probably didn't make enough or more money than you. But I know one thing for sure. I ain't have to ask people for money. That's something that this individual did. They asked people for money while they had a job. So that's just overall showing you in your made up world that you got put in your head that even in your little made up world that you still need to find a way to survive. And you didn't. So it's like that. It makes me kind of laugh a little bit how it's like you try to get on me and my survival skills, yet you had literally the survival skills that you needed in front of you, and you still, because the thing is this person, I'm not going to say what they invest into, but let's just say their investments isn't like how I make investments, where I can actually make money off of my investments, which is what I've done on numerous occasions. Podcasts, YouTube, streaming. I have received a check from all forms of content creating. So that's why it confuses me, where it's like, here it is, I'm making money, ain't had to ask you for a dime throughout my whole life. Yet you're trying to criticize me on what I'm doing. And it's like, and it's the stuff like that where it's like, you don't think it'll be somebody that's like so close to you, but at the same time, should it really be surprising? And the funny thing is like, usually what it takes in order to convince this person of what you're doing is an actual job. And you know what? What's funny is that they support people that literally does the same thing. They're social media influencers. They literally watch social media influencers on TV. But you can't sit down and watch somebody that's been close to you your whole life. You can't just watch not even a 15-second TikTok that I've done. Not even listen to a 15-minute video or a podcast episode, or even watch a 15-minute video that I've created. But you'll support the Kardashians. You'll support freaking Jersey Shore and all them other reality TV shows out there that don't nobody care about. I'm saying at the end of the day, yeah, they got their thing going on. It's no disrespect to them, but I'm just saying, I think even they would have a understanding of like, here it is, they're making a name for themselves. They're doing something with their lives, yet they got people or even one person in their circle or wherever where they want to mention everybody else besides them. Like, you're literally looking a social media influencer in the face, and you can't show no support. And it's crazy to me where it's like people would rather doubt you. They would rather hate on you. They would rather have this jealousy, whatever it is that they want to call it. They want to have all this like pent up anger and aggression towards you. You've done absolutely nothing to them besides exist. That's all that I've ever done to this person is exist. Yet I'm the suspect in existing, and when it's somebody close where they're saying the same things that people have said to you on the internet, it's like you're letting out the anger that they should have had, the people on the internet, you're letting that out, and then also years of anger that I've already had on this person. So that's what I mean by like a blind rage, where it's like it puts you in a situation where it's like you're fearing for this person. Because they don't understand that when you're in this like this anger, when you're in this up, like just when you just got a lot of stuff just built up in you, they don't understand the consequences of that. And then I got to the point where I'm all like, look, I can go my whole life without ever talking to this person again. I will be fine with it. Now I know that there are some people in the circle of me and this person's existence, you know, they overall, like, they probably would disagree with that and they wouldn't want us to carry on like that. But it's like, you have to understand, you've been in my shoes. You've seen how this person acts. Why do I got to put up with that for the rest of my life? You see what I'm saying? It's like that's the type of stuff where I'm all like, I do not want to have no toxic person in my life that's just going to be toxic on purpose. There ain't even no such thing as being toxic on accident, but you really should not be toxic on purpose. Because that, to me, that just don't make no sense. It really doesn't. Even like right now, as I'm doing this podcast episode and I'm just getting angry thinking about it, where it's all like, if this person was really in front of me right now, it's like I probably would be a little bit louder and I probably would be much more aggressive. Not to a point where it's going to turn physical, but overall, I need for them to understand that you're not, and this is to this person, this is to everybody in this world. You're not going to make it far in life carrying on the way that you're carrying on. I mean, sit down and think about it now. You're older than me, and what have you achieved in life? What exactly have you done to where you can say, wow, I did that? When every time when I done heard something about you, when it comes to money, when it comes to all that stuff, every time when I hear it, it's something crazy. And so I sit down and I think about my life and I'm like, you know what? I might have had some bumpy roads when it comes to content creating, when it comes, just more so content creating. This is the one thing that I have put so much attention to throughout my whole life, to where I've had to make sacrifices of one bit of my content creation, like, you know, line of work for another form of content creation line of work. I've had to make sacrifices, bro. I'm saying, when I sit down and I think of all that I have achieved throughout all of the stuff that I've been through, when it comes to depression, when it comes to COVID, when it comes to working a full-time job and then having to come back and be a content creator, having to come back and be a YouTuber, dealing with COVID, being a streamer, a TikToker, a YouTuber, a podcaster. I'm saying all these different things, and you gonna look me in the face and say that I'm not working? Fam, I've put in more work than you. Here it is, this person's older than me, and I put in more work than them. So that's why it really trips me out when people like that, they want to sit down and they want to criticize everybody around them. They want to say all these hurtful things and do all these hurtful things to everybody around them. And they're the main ones where when they get hurt, they want to take that out on everybody. They want to make it seem like that I'm the one that, you know, it's you're hurting me out of anger. You're doing this. And it's like, why do you think because I just know that me and this individual, the situation that we just had, that ain't gonna be the last of it. I know there's gonna be a time and place where me and this person get into it. And you know what? I'm not gonna hold back. I've told people in our circle where I'm like, I'm not holding back on this individual. You know, the thing is this. I apologize to one person in this circle and let them know that the next time when me and this individual cross paths and they want to say some stuff, I'm not holding back. I feel like I'm even holding back in this podcast episode because I just feel like there's so much more that I have in me to say. And I'm like, and I really want to just say all that stuff now. So even if that day does come and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to be bothered with you. You say what you need to say. You do what you need to do. And that's the thing. I want to just get to that point where it's like, I got nothing left for this person. I mean, absolutely nothing. No anger, no happiness, no sadness, no nothing. I want this particular person, all right? This particular person, from this day forward, stay away from me. Because it gets to a point where it's all like, look, me just doing this podcast episode right now, it's a waste of time. It's a waste of time. It's a podcast episode that should have never happened in the first place. I see it as a waste of time. And me having to sit down and do these types of things because I got this anger in me that lasted 2 days. Because a person, it's like they go somewhere and then they want to act angry. For what? For what reason? I'm saying because, look, my thing is this. You can come up with every reason on why you think you got to go around and you got to act angry towards people. There ain't no reason in the world for that. None. whatsoever. I don't care what's happened to you. I don't care what you've been through. None of that got to have that ain't got nothing to do with me. Absolutely nothing. I do not care. So people, you need to understand that when you want to act all bipolar and you want to act all weird and you want to act all crazy and rude and disrespectful to people, and then they flip that same energy back on you, and then you're wondering, well, what have I done? I haven't done nothing wrong. No, you sit down and you think of everything that you've ever done in your whole life. Everything that you've ever done. Sit down and actually think hard about that. Because if everybody else around you can think about it, why can you not think about it? What do you got going on in your head to where you just can't think? I'm saying, like, it's one of those things where it's like, man, I'm telling you, if I was just like a tad bit more crazier, a little bit more off in the head, you know, a tad, or like a more and more physically violent, this person probably, yeah, I can see right now, this person probably would have had to call the cops on me with the last interaction that they would have had. If I just had all these things just running through my mind, most likely it'd been a situation where I'm all like, yeah, I've been having to do some podcast episodes and some videos from jail, because I'm like, this person definitely would have put me to a point where I'm all like, I might have not done nothing to them physically, you know, because it's like I still want to have that respect for them, you know, and if not that, I just don't feel like it's not worth my time to really do nothing to them. All right, but the material things, oh yeah, there's definitely some things I could do. But I'm like, you know what? I think what I just overall need to do is like, I'm just going to try to relax my brain. You know, I'm going to just try to, you know, I don't know, but I'm going to just try to relax myself. Because I feel like that's overall, like, just put peace in my heart that needs to be there. You know, peace that should have been there years ago. 27 years ago. A piece that should have been there from the start. So I'm saying, I'm like, at the end of the, if you got somebody, and I don't care whether it's friends, family, whatever the situation is, if you got somebody, all right, in your life, and they're just toxic to you for no reason, you've done absolutely nothing to them, all right, absolutely nothing to them. And maybe, just maybe, you might be a little bit more of a, and you know what? That's something that I feel like a lot of people, they need to do. And that's something that I need to work on myself. I need to be more forgiving. But at the same time, how many times can you forgive a person? Because I'm saying, I'm not trying to forgive a person 100 times throughout my life. Like, I'm not trying to be like, oh, let me forgive you one last time for the road when I'm like an old elderly man on my deathbed. I'm not trying to get to that point. I'm trying to get to a point where I forgive you one time and you change. That's it. I don't care what you got going on. I don't care how many therapists you got to see. I don't care what it is. All right. But it just needs to be a one-time change. One time. Not multiple. Not a few. Not every blue moon. One time. One time only. If you can't do that, fam, I don't want to be bothered at all. So that's on some stuff where I'm all like, that's how I feel. Where it's like, I remember there was another point in time when me and this individual, we got into it. And I was so disgusted. I was like, I didn't even want to look them in their face. And that's how I felt. That's how I felt. I was like, if I looked at them, I was most likely going to say something. Because I know me. I know I can act out a little bit. And I know I had it in me to really say something to this person. But I held back because I'm like, this right now is not an appropriate time. You know, I'm trying to be more of an adult. I'm 27 years old. I shouldn't be carrying on like I'm a child. But this person wants to carry on like a child. So I'm all like, I'm saying it's going to get to a point in time. You want a child? Child's here now. So I'm all like, what do you want to hear from me? Because I'm saying it's that type of stuff where I'm all like, look, people, you know, you might, my thing is this, and even if there's somebody out there, right, and you're listening to this podcast episode and you're the toxic one, you know you're the toxic one, you're listening to this podcast episode and you know for a fact that this episode is meant for you. You're going to deal with somebody that you ain't going to be able to handle. Like me, on the other hand, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to really try to practice, you know, peace in my heart and stuff. But I just know that this individual, that they gonna say or do something to the wrong somebody, and then they gonna probably be looking at me for help, I'm just gonna look at them and be like, you brought that on yourself. If you wasn't that type of individual where you felt that, you know, you're entitled to stuff, you feel that you're entitled to my help, you're not. I choose whether or not I'm gonna help you. So at the end of the day, it's like, that's that type of stuff where it's like, you need to understand that you're not going to make it far in life carrying on the way that you're carrying on. And I'm like, I don't know how many times, and that's the one thing that I don't like about this day and age, is that people don't take that information in. They think, oh, because you're younger than me, I don't need to listen to nobody younger than me. It's like, you sound just like one of them old people, like, oh, you a youngin', you don't know nothing about life, you don't know nothing. That, I ain't hearing none of that. I'm not hearing absolutely none of that at all. I don't care, because my thing is this. And this is on just, you know, some silly stuff. Like, people, if you want to laugh about this, laugh about this. Now, completely unrelated, you know, to what I was just talking about. But anyways, just recently was on a trip with my family to Universal Studios. While I was there, we were at the Mario Kart. Me and my family, we were at the Mario Kart ride. And so I was trying to figure, because I was wearing my one of my like baseball caps, right? So I'm wearing my baseball cap. They wanted us to put like this Mario hat over our heads, and then we had to put these visor things on. I'm thinking to myself, fam, I'm going to have to take my hat off. And I don't want to do that. I don't want to take my hat off. So I'm saying, I'm all like, bro, how am I going to do this? How is this going to work? Next thing you know, I look down, I look at this kid. This kid got his hat on backwards, got the visor on top, and then he's able to put the goggles there. Fam, I sat there and looked at a kid for help. So that's what I'm saying. Like, if there is ever a day where somebody, a kid, younger, whoever, however old this kid is, they come to me, they younger than me, and they're giving me advice, I'm going to take it. That's one thing that I can say about myself, is that I listen to people. Because that's all that this world wants. This world wants people to listen to them. So I'm saying, at the end of the day, people, you really need to hear out that anger. Not what the words that person is saying. Hear the words if you want to, but you need to hear that anger. And understand that if you caused anger in this person's heart, bro, that stuff, like I said, is going to build up. It's going to build up, and it's going to continue on building up. And eventually, you might not be dealing with a person like me. You might be dealing with a person that wants to cause physical harm to you. And it's going to be some physical harm where it's all like, fam, you're going to have to, like, I'm not saying that I would do that, but there's people in this world that I know that will definitely cause physical harm. I know for a fact that there's people in this world that do some stuff like that. I'm saying, you've heard of it. You've heard of it. There's the one story. I'm going to end the video or the podcast episode after I tell this story. But anyways, there's the one story where Marvin, I think that was that singer's name, Marvin Gaye. Hold on for a second. I think that was him. Let me look it up real quick. Marvin Gaye, 19. Is this it? I think this is it. I think it's Marvin Gaye. Yep. That is the story that I'm looking for. So anyways, so Marvin Gaye, popular singer from the old days. You know, I've heard of some of his songs, love his music. So anyways, him and his dad was having I think his dad and his mom was having a dispute. They were arguing over something. The dad, Marvin Gaye Sr., he goes, I think he pushed the mom or hit the mom. He did something. Marvin Gaye, the singer, he comes running in, pushes his dad down. I don't know. I think he either punched him. He did something to upset his dad. Dad walks out, comes back in. Both of these guys, they literally have so much anger in their heart right now. You got one mad because he sees his mom being disrespected, and then you got another one mad because his son just disrespected him. Guess how that situation ended? Like, seriously, before, like, pause this episode and sit, or even just right now, sit down and think about how that situation ended. I'm pretty sure there's probably a lot of people thinking along the lines, like, oh, they probably never talked to each other again. Yeah, they didn't. The dad came back in with a gun and shot Marvin Gaye Jr., shot his own son. That's that level of anger that people be having. And I don't think people fully understand that. I'm saying that. I'm like, luckily, thank God, I'm not crazy like that. But I'm saying there are people in this world that are crazy like that. So I'm telling you, people, you need to straighten up. You need to stop acting like this world owes you something. The world doesn't owe you a thing at all. I tried to make this episode like a blend of what I went through and what, others done went through. Now, if you guys need to, whoever is listening, send this to people that just be carrying on, acting toxic for no reason. Send this to whoever you need to send this to. But I'm telling you, people, it needs to stop. It needs to stop where you just out here acting crazy for no reason. And people gonna be looking at me, they're gonna be hearing this and be all like, well, you shouldn't say acting crazy. That's not a correct term to use. I don't care. Whatever you want to call it, fam, stop doing it. Because there ain't no reason for it. Alright, so anyways, and that being said, I will talk to y'all later. Thank you guys for watching and or listening. Stay tuned for the next episode. Peace.